Hello. How are you today? We're here again to listen to me tell some stories at 12 o'clock at night. Hope you enjoy it. Welcome back to Mr. Gim channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to enjoy mysterious stories, mysteries, and true cases on our channel. Let's get started. There's a young man living in our neighborhood named Jimmy. He often gets into trouble due to his excessive self-confidence and quirky sense of humor. His mouth tends to get him into trouble, and he rarely learns any lessons from these incidents. Despite the consequences, Jimmy remains content with himself and refuses to change. When people ask him why he tolerates others causing problems for him, he simply smirks and says that honesty is the best policy. At least that way they don't hide anything from him, and he doesn't pretend to be someone he's not. One of the kids, Brett, was driven to madness by Jimmy's teasing. Jimmy made an inappropriate joke about Brett's mother, which disgusted everyone who heard it. Understandably, this led to frequent clashes between them. Brett decided to gather a group of people who disliked Jimmy and cornered him in the main laboratory after school hours. Brett's reckless mouth had pushed Jimmy into this situation, and Brett wanted to make sure he remembered it forever. Staring directly into Jimmy's terrified eyes, Brett and the others seized a few vials of acid stored in the lab and threw the corrosive liquid onto Jimmy's face. Jimmy screamed in agony as the chemicals ate away at his skin. The group pretended to be concerned and offered help when the medical staff arrived. By then, Jimmy had stopped screaming. The principal questioned the group, asking if they knew what had happened. Brett, the instigator, explained that they had merely been passing by the lab when they heard Jimmy's screams. They rushed in and found him in that state. All the members of the group supported Brett's fabricated details, leaving Jimmy still struggling to protest amid excruciating pain. The situation continued to unfold after the principal nodded and mentioned that he would speak with the group after discussing the matter with Jimmy and obtaining his statement upon discharge. A few days passed, and Jimmy remained in the specialized treatment room, his face wrapped in bandages. The attending physician explained that they couldn't salvage most of his facial features. However, he could still use one eye and his jaw, despite the extensive damage caused by the corrosive chemicals. Jimmy couldn't speak, and he adamantly refused to meet anyone. He lay there, eyes wide with hatred, staring at the ceiling. The pain and disfigurement had taken a toll on Jimmy. His once humorous and carefree demeanor vanished. He isolated himself in his room, consumed by twisted thoughts. He harbored a dark plan to systematically eliminate each member of the group responsible for his suffering. He wanted them to feel the pain and burn just as he did. Jimmy waited patiently, observing their weaknesses, until the opportune moment arrived. Late one night, when the group least expected it, Jimmy struck. As they bid each other farewell and headed home, he targeted the weakest link. Brett received an unexpected package at his doorstep. Curiosity got the better of him, and he opened it to find a VHS tape. Jimmy had surreptitiously recorded something using a handheld camcorder. The footage played without any explanation, revealing a chilling scene. It starts with a segment. The camera focuses on the date on the latest newspaper, which indicates yesterday's date. As the cameraman pans around, you can see that he is in a basement, with only a flickering light bulb hanging directly above, creating a very unsettling scene. And as he continues to film, Brett can only be certain that this is definitely not a normal video. Standing directly in front of the camera is a man crawling on his knees. He is one of Brett's friends, his body racked with pain, blindfolded by a filthy piece of cloth, and another cloth stuffed into his mouth, completely soaked with blood. His body bears severe burns, cuts, and various wounds, with a particularly large wound on his back. It seems to be some sort of message. The cameraman, with gloved hands, holds the cloth in the boy's mouth, who is sobbing uncontrollably, immediately begging to be released and allowed to go home. Please let me go. I've done what you wanted. Oh God, Jesse, Mike, Keith. You made me kill them, damn it. I just want to go home. Please. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry. He continues, repeatedly emphasizing that he has killed them. Brett's legs start to tremble, feeling nauseous. He can see a pile of charred corpses behind the bodies of his friends. They all have deep, large cuts on their bodies. The cameraman reaches out with gloved hands, lifting his chin and instructing him to stand up. He obeys and walks towards the doorway, gradually fading from the camera's view. But Brett can still hear his cries, and now he can see the words carved into his friend's back. Lies. Then the camera abruptly cuts off. When it's turned back on, they're no longer in the basement. Instead, they're outside in the freezing snow in the woods, and it seems like the cameraman is someone else, another one of Brett's friends. He's sobbing uncontrollably and shivering, while pointing the camera in one direction for about 30 seconds towards distant trees, hearing footsteps getting closer and closer. Where are you? You said I could go. You said... He shouts, crying and pleading, drowned out by the sounds emanating from the forest, which gradually shift from one direction to all around him before stopping. He turns back, only to see Jimmy's distorted face, a horrifying sight echoing the word, lies. Before the tape abruptly ends, Brett is left in shock by what just happened, rushing to lock the main door, knowing something is coming for him. As he turns to run forward, he immediately trips over something, falling backward. The last thing he hears is the deceitful laughter before acid starts corroding his flesh, melting everything until the last thing he sees is Jimmy's face slowly contorting into a grotesque, twisted smile. Have you ever been influenced by the very thing you're wearing? I'm not talking about confidence in appearance. Have you ever felt stronger because of a specific item? It could be something as simple as a t-shirt. And have you ever been influenced by it in the worst way possible, revealing your true self? The following lines are directly excerpted from a diary, written by a notorious yet anonymous murderer. He's infamous, but nobody knows who he is because his origins are peculiar. There's no evil family, no magic, no supernatural phenomena. Everything that happened is because of his choices, and his alone. His identity remains undisclosed till now. He's known as the Hooded Figure. April 3rd, 2004. The weather is getting colder. I still don't have a decent coat for winter. My wardrobe consists only of t-shirts and jeans. So today I decided to find myself a jacket. I'm in a local store, nothing special. It's a black hoodie with a white pattern. It looked good on me when I tried it on, and the salesman said it suited me well. I thanked him for his politeness, something rare to encounter nowadays. I bought it, and I haven't taken it off since. Not just because it keeps me warm, but because I feel like I'm doing everything better when I wear it. Looking at myself in the mirror, I smirk. It feels amazing, hard to describe the emotion. In general, I really like this hoodie. I really like it. I always wear the hood everywhere. Maybe it's because it brings a sense of anonymity to the wearer. Even though it doesn't completely hide my face, it still conceals something within me. It's getting late now. Today was amazing. Time seemed to fly by faster. I'll explain more tomorrow, on April 10th. Last week was smooth sailing for me. I felt extremely productive. Even simple tasks like walking made me feel different. I'm sure others noticed I was more confident. That's why Jack got on my nerves. He insulted me, and for the first time, I dared to stand up to him with a teasing joke about his mother. He provoked me, starting the whole thing. Jack threw a strong punch, and I just stood there, hitting back like nothing happened. I felt great all week. Never felt this insecure before. I punched him hard in the stomach and followed it with an uppercut. It felt amazing, truly. Oh, my parents are calling again. April 14th. Probably still in the hospital. They said his condition is still very bad, often vomiting blood. His parents called me, and I remember that moment, that amazing feeling when my fist connected with his rib cage and how Jack curled up when his ribs shattered. I didn't care about Jack. I joked about his pain. I often stare at myself in the mirror, always wearing my favorite hoodie. I feel so powerful. My friends probably react the same way as me. They'll compare me to Spider-Man in his black suit, but Spider-Man managed to rid himself of that dark power. I have no intention of doing so. April 22nd, Jack went to a better place. Those words echoed in my ears. He bled too much. His parents told me on the day I visited, saying he lost too much blood due to a pre-existing condition. But based on the way his mother looked at me, she told the true story. I killed him, and I remember the satisfaction of hitting him. I never wanted to kill anyone. I need to think about what I've done, right? I need to fix myself, but what's wrong with thinking, huh? Regret is a foolish emotion, and I don't need it. On April 24th, lately, Dad has been ignoring me, and Mom just keeps saying, "Love me, they want me to chew on this guilt feeling." But I won't. I can't. I can't even pretend, because the truth is I don't feel guilty. Sometimes I briefly consider getting rid of my powers. But why did this curse, or this black hoodie, fall into my hands? Everyone who knows must be looking at me differently now. All the people I used to talk to have moved on to different layers or different schools. Teachers avoid looking at me. They can't even reprimand me when I do something wrong. Today, I put a pencil into the shoulder of my history teacher. He froze for a moment, then continued teaching as if nothing happened. Everyone hates me and wants me dead, or they're afraid of me. These diary entries are my only consolation, the only place where I can express myself and feel at peace. April 25th. They taunted me, threatened me. I had no other choice. They might kill me. The hoodie protected me. It snatched the knife from the rapper's hand and transferred it to mine. I didn't intend to do that. April 30th. Those 5 days were spent interrogated and sleeping in a cell. They concluded that I acted in self-defense only. I could hear Mom and Dad talking. They want me gone. They seemed scared. I was foolish to think that the new hoodie was controlling me or changing my nature. It's just a nice hoodie. I really like it. It makes me feel powerful. I remember how I pulled the hood up when Jack challenged me, when those guys wanted to kill me. I didn't feel any sadness. I felt special. I am in control. In the end, I realized I want to kill them all. All I need is a little push and some confidence to do it. I understand now. Mom and Dad are making me uncomfortable. Everything is making me uncomfortable. A man walked into a hotel and approached the reception desk to check in. The woman at the desk handed him a key and informed him that on his way to his room, he would pass by a locked room that wasn't numbered, and nobody was allowed to enter it. She emphasized that he must not attempt to look inside under any circumstances. So he followed the instructions given by the woman, went straight to his room. However, the following evening, his curiosity grew stronger. Once again, the receptionist reminded him about the unnumbered room. Intrigued, he ventured out into the hallway towards the mysterious room and tried turning the doorknob. Certainly the door was locked. He bent down and peered into the office through the wide, squeaky lock hole. He felt a chill as his eyes adjusted to what he saw: a standard hotel room, just like his own, and in the corner was a woman with an icy white complexion. She leaned her head against the wall, facing away from the entrance where the man was peering. He stood there for a moment, caught between curiosity and confusion, almost knocking on the door but ultimately deciding against it. That final decision was signed. He stepped back from the door, turned, and returned to his room. The next day he came back and looked through the wide lock hole again, but this time all he saw was red. He couldn't make out what it was, as all he saw was an unmoving redness. Perhaps the woman had known he had been spying the night before and had blocked the lock with a red cloth. At this point, with more curiosity than sense, the man decided to inquire about the unnumbered room with the receptionist downstairs. She sighed and replied that he had looked inside, hadn't he? The man admitted it, and she continued for a while. Once, a man had killed his wife right in that room, and her spirit had lingered there. She had an extremely peculiar appearance, with an icy white complexion from head to toe, and her eyes were the only thing red.